Good day, everybody. This is the Jedi of Hogwarts. I'm going to show you how to use the hashtags of the week assignment for your vocabulary in Google Documents. This video is meant for both teachers and for students. Students, if you are watching this, please note that your teachers may adjust some of the directions for your overall assignment. However, the editing directions that I will be going over with everybody will pretty much stay the same. So, for example, if your teacher doesn't modify your instructions, you're going to use this template that is provided for you to create a fake Instagram post for each vocabulary term for this week's list or for the chapter list. For some of you, you may even be asked by your teachers to identify your own list from a chapter that you've read of a book or possibly even in an article. Regardless of where those words come from, this is what you're going to do with them. So I'm going to make the assumption that I have been given the assignment and given a list of words, and I'm going to pretend that my first word that I need to define is delectable. Delectable is a fancy word for something that is delicious or attractive and makes you hungry at the same time. So it is used to describe something that you would eat. So you may be looking at this template and going, man, it's awfully small. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit each one of the blocks. So what I'm going to show you first is how to zoom in. So for those of you who are at the Chromebook, I'm also going to have some interesting information for you about Chromebooks as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and I'm going to identify the zoom tool, which it looks kind of like a magnifying glass with cross in the center or a plus sign in the center. So I'm going to click on that, and then my cursor is going to turn into that magnifying glass. Now I can click wherever I want with this and zoom in. Here's the problem. If I click again, I'm going to zoom in even further. So I need to remember to turn this off when I get it to the size that I want. So since mine is now about the size where all I see is one post, I think that's about the best size that I should have. So I need to go back to that zoom tool and turn it off by clicking on it one more time. If I mess up and click on it too many times, just so you know, there is a way to fix it. There's always a little drop down menu next to that zoom where you can go back to the original way it looked by clicking on fit, or you can click on zoom out one or zoom in one. Okay. So let's go to our picture here. So like I said, my first word I said that we're going to be pretending we're defining is delectable. All right. Now, for some students, you may be asked to provide a definition of delectable and then a sentence. Other students may just be asked to provide a sentence that you're using the word properly in. But either way, the idea is that you're following this by the hashtag with the vocabulary term or beginning it with it. So I'm going to say hashtag delectable, and then I'm going to go find myself a picture of something that looks delectable. So when I Google the word delectable, I see a lot of baked goods come up and things like that. And, you know, what appears very yummy to one person might appear kind of gross to somebody else. For example, this doesn't look very good to me. I don't know why. It looks like they put a cherry on top of some mashed potatoes, which is not necessarily a mix that I would put together. My son has an aversion to cheese because he is lactose intolerant. So this cheese picture may not be very delectable to him. But if I keep going, I'll probably find something that looks good to me. And the idea is that it would be something that looks good to you. Here's a picture of sushi. Now, that is definitely something that some people are going to say that looks gross. Whereas I personally do enjoy me a good piece of sushi. So I'm going to keep going until I find something that looks absolutely delicious. And let's see. Yep, I think we can almost all agree that those fries are probably pretty good, but this looks pretty interesting too. So I'm going to click on the picture that I have found. And then in order to copy and paste this picture, if I'm using a mouse, I'm going to right click. If I don't have a mouse and I'm using a mouse pad on a Chromebook, you might notice that when you click on it with the one finger, it doesn't give you the option to copy and paste. So what you're going to want to do is hold up your two fingers like you're holding up the peace sign or making bunny ears. Keep them with that little bit of separation, just like you were making bunny ears, and then you're going to tap your mouse pad, and you'll see that you get that little right menu pop up that you would have gotten if you had the little key on a mouse to do that. So once I have that, I'm going to be looking for the copy image option. Okay, so I'm going to click on copy image, and now that should be sent to my clipboard. So now I can go back over to my original assignment, and I can now paste in this photo. So I'm going to repeat that process with my bunny ears because I am using a Chromebook today, and do my little right click, and then I'm going to select paste. And you see that my picture is much larger than the box I want to put it in. So I'm going to need to resize this. To resize this, what I need to do is make sure that it has this border around it, this light blue border with the corners that have boxes on them and the sides will have boxes on them. If it doesn't look like that and it just looks like the plain picture, all I have to do is click on that photo and it will go back to having that border on it. So when I place my cursor over any one of those boxes, it's going to change, and it's going to allow me to click and drag and drop type thing, or just drag where I want it to be. So if I drag it so that my picture is the appropriate width, you'll notice it's not the right height. I still have some picture of the template behind it still. So then I'm going to need to go back and do a little stretch here with the bottom box to make it the right size. All right. So the next thing I'm going to want to do is to include my sentence. Also up here is an option for me to include a fun username. My username is Jedi of Hogwarts. So that's what I'm going to put up there. And so the first thing I'm going to do now is write a caption to go with my hashtag delectable. So I'm going to say the treats my grandma makes are delectable. I'm going to put an exclamation point there. All right. So simply that's how you're going to go through and make sure that everything is put together properly. All right. So if you have questions about how yours is going to be specifically graded or whether or not you need to include a definition in addition to your sentence, those are questions specifically for your teacher. So please make sure that they know that you're not 100% sure of what needs to be included before you turn this in. All right. Have a great day.